Good morning. This is Terrace. And as Kamala Harris said, my heart is full. My heart is full with the terrestrial events of the United States that sprays out and affects the rest of the world. I am full with the contemplation of what is our role as a spiritual being to participate in the civic, the daily life, terrestrial. I know that there's always this unspoken rule that as a spiritual being, we're up here and we don't talk about the daily life happenings, political is a bad word, social is certainly a bad word. I spend a lot of time talking about how to get out of the drama of the daily life, how to be in the light in the daily life. And at the same time, I always talk about do not check out. Do not space out. And not be coherent in the fact that your feet are still walking on the same ground as your fellow travelers, as your fellow citizens of this beautiful Mother Earth. Dare I even say, this beautiful United States of America. I am a citizen of my community, of my country, of the global community, the global country. I've never felt like I am an American. I feel like I am a citizen of this beautiful world. I have my place in the universe. And many of you do not know that I started my life in a family of mountain climbers. We were in the nature, but also activists. My mother was a citizen activist, and she got involved in the struggles and the hardships of the people around her. And I grew up with that ethic. So when I transitioned from my, protesting days, activist days, to trying to pull back to a more global level of consciousness of how can I approach my teachings from a spiritual, from a higher level, I am now disturbed and want to speak to you about what is happening in the spiritual world. And may I say, what is happening in the sound healing world, in the New Age world where I decided that I am a citizen of? Why are we all checking out? Why is it forbidden to speak of who we vote for in the elections, what we stand for as a citizen of this world, what we feel is right and wrong? Why can we not name the dark? We are taught, we teach to not talk about it, rise above it, because for sure we don't want to go into the trauma drama of our stuff. I teach that. And at the same time, it is not that I am not saying that there is a way that we can name the dark, but not from a place of the trauma of the dark. And I want to impress that upon you now. We had a cranky election in the United States. Those of us that believe in freedom and justice for all, we did not win the election. That is a fact. And at the same time, we have not lost our light. And we have not lost our determination of making this world a better place. What is it to be spiritual? Tama-Do style. It is to rise the humanity to a higher level of consciousness. To rise this beautiful Mother Earth with all of our children in this earth back up to the luminous light body. The Garden of Eden. Heaven. To the level of consciousness where we believe that we came from the light. We came from the light. And we chose this moment in the humanity, this dark moment, to come down and incarnate, to shine our light to make this world a better place. And that's not checking out. That is participating. That is participating in, if you look at the map that is Tama-Do, in the 8 levels of consciousness that is our aura. That means that we don't just fly around la 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 with the angels and the guides doing our sound healing to check out, to zone out, to not participate in the daily life. I have always taught you, go to the light and bring the light back down into your daily life. Incarnate your soul in the daily life and then express your soul in the daily life. Express your soul to express the illumination. We achieve illumination in the daily life. And why? This is the piece that seems to be missing in a lot of the New Age travelers. Why achieve illumination? Why go to the light? Why do your sambas? Why teach the light? To make the place, this beautiful world, a better place for future generations. This has always been Fabien's and my fundamental rule. Spirituality is when we have a mission of the light, we serve the light above all else to rise up the humanity, to make the world a better place. So politics can be spiritual. Entrepreneurialism can be spiritual. Capitalism, socialism, any of the isms can be spiritual if the mission is to serve the light above all else. This election is giving us a new opportunity, those of us in the spiritual arena, New Age world travelers, to wake up and pay attention and get involved. Get involved with, of course, the light, but with the purpose to do something about the injustice, the inequity, the participate in the daily life. Yeah, vote. Our next election is in 2 years. I don't know how much you know about the United States, but the House of Representatives, there are going to be a lot of people running for re-election. We can try to bring balance back to the House of Representatives. There are Republican senators that are running. We can try to flip those seats to bring some balance back, because right now we have essentially handed our country over to totalitarianism. Don't fall asleep. Get involved. And I will speak more about how. If you look at this map, the map that I always talk about of how to achieve illumination on all levels of consciousness, how do we participate on all levels of consciousness? How do we participate physically to make the world a better place? We take care of our physical bodies. We take care of the planet by recycling, like really recycling, not just throwing everything in the recycle bin. Wash the stuff. Wash the containers. Check if it's a 1 or a 2. Pay attention. Consume less. There's so many different ways to work physically, spiritually. How to choose the light on the physical level. Don't do things that harm yourself. Don't do things that harm the physical planet around you. Etheric, the first level of consciousness around you. How can we bring the light and participate? That's our sensing of our fellow neighbors, our fellow travelers. This is the community level, the etheric, the astral level, where we are participating with those around, reaching out a helping hand, sensing that somebody needs some tools, not to assist them and disempower them, etc., etc. I've talked about that. But how to help them to get a start. How to help those who can help hundreds of others. Go support a school teacher who might not have enough money for groceries, but whose love and inspiration from a place of light is informing new generations of children. Choose who you want to give to so that they can make the world a better place. How do we start fires? How do we start actions? The etheric body is the body of action. How can our little participation plant seeds to create a whole movement of action that is light driven, that is light oriented, that we go to the light? The astral, don't use social media just to blah, blah, just to get friends. That's why I've been so, I've not wanted to plunge into the social media. I hate the social media. I hate the trauma drama of the astral level of consciousness. Because what do you do about it? There's no point in just complaining and whining and crying and mowing. You got to do something about it. You got to flip the script. You got to bring the light in and shine the light and be a beacon of light. Be an inspiration. Again, shining the light, choosing the light, stepping toward the light, so that all your relationships, all your family, all of your community, you are demanding that those around you, if they are going to be in your orbit, they choose the light. And by choosing the light, the ethics of the light, the coherence of the light, to make the world a better place, to be good people, to be kind people, to be loving people, to be understanding, not complacent. You know me by now. I am not someone that just sits back on my butt and does nothing. I'm a fire starter. And so, emanating from our solar plexus, from our astral body, how do we turn all our blah, blah, social blah, blah into shiningness? How many times a day do you inspire your fellow traveler to get out of their shit and get back on their horse? That's spiritual. In my book, that's spiritual, because we are not assisting, not coddling, not encouraging the dark of the trauma drama, but we're saying, come on, you can do it. I believe in your higher self. I believe that you are more than you ever thought possible. And yes, as Kamala Harris says, I believe that the world is more united. The children of God are more united than we are aware. There is more that brings us together than what divides us, but it is the ignorance that divides us. To rise up to consciousness of light, consciousness of soul, we go to the mental subtle body that links to our heart chakra. How can we love light, express the love of light first, instead of, oh, muji, which sinks us? How can we spiritually, as light workers, demand of this world to do better, to dream bigger, to believe more in the high principles of what is possible instead of what is not possible? Do not check out. If your emotions are too hurt, the tendency of the lower self, which is not spiritual, is to check out. Oh, I'm not going to do that again. That was painful. Fuck that. It's not an option. As Bernie Sanders says, it is not an option to check out. Okay, things don't always go our way. Okay, government is bloody slow. Okay, humanity is stupid. Okay, whatever it is that you think that gives you the justification of checking out, you still breathe the same air. You still walk on the same earth. We are still together in what we inherit and what we pass on for future generations. How can you check out? Why did you come down on earth? Why were you born? Why did you choose to incarnate? Oh, I didn't choose. Yes, you did. If you are a spiritual being, you are aware that on some level you chose to come down onto Mother Earth to make a difference, to shine light into a dark period of humanity. Yes, this is a Kali Yuga period of humanity. Of course. And guess what? You were strong enough that you chose this period. And you chose it to come down, to make a difference, and not to check out. So the heart chakra opens because, yes, you have done your personal practice and you've connected with the light of Source. But it doesn't mean you close your eyes and your ears and your nose and your mouth and you cut off the world and you cut off the senses and you just commune in the bliss of God. I'm sorry. You can do that when you are in the light with no physical body. But we have a physical body and we are here on Mother Earth. And it is not correct that the spiritual community, this new age world, tends to check out. We got to wake up and participate. We got to speak our truth through the throat chakra. And the truth is the truth of the light, that the light is here in the daily life. We got to be able to, as Michelle Obama said, have uncomfortable conversations. Dare to nudge your fellow travelers to consider difficult topics. Topics that involve more than just you. If you have a belief, how does it affect the neighbor? It's no different than Chinese medicine. If our, in acupuncture, if the metal is out of balance, how does it affect the earth or the water? If I personally am out of balance, how does it affect those closer to me or the Tama-Do Academy or the community beyond? How does my out of balanceness affect the world? Being spiritual means that we completely have the consciousness and the understanding of our own spiritualness in our little physical bodies. And also the interconnectedness, the citizenship of us with others. We are not isolated. We are participants. Don't you understand why drugs are so destructive? Alcohol, even the sound baths that just are made to check us out, to put us to sleep. How is that helping? How is that helping if what spiritual means is to have a mission of light to rise the humanity up to a higher level of consciousness? How can we possibly do that if we check out? I'm going to have to stop because I have to prepare to teach Tama-Do sound harmonization today on Zoom. I'm looking out at this beautiful ocean. The trees have been going crazy, dancing in the wind. The sun is shining. The winter solstice light is starting to appear. There's a shimmer. And that's the message to us. The light is eternal. Even when it seems like we're in our darkest hour in the humanity, the light is eternity. I think that our mission now, more than ever, as Tama-Do practitioners of the light, is to contemplate more thoughtfully, mindfully, how do we merge light in the daily life? How do you make sure that how you are behaving in the daily life, how you make your money, how you make your relationships, how you make your dreams, that you are mindful, that you are conscious, that the how merges with the why. Why are you here as a soul? And the answer is to receive the light, to remember the life that is inherently inside of us, and to pass it on, to shine the light for the betterment of humanity and for future generations. Never give up your purpose.